Good morning. Happy Friday. Before we begin today, we have a few announcements. As Vocal Center develops, we will be hosting a group class on Sunday, August 22nd from 2:30 to 4. It will be via Zoom, so you can join in from anywhere. And we'll be doing a series of body warm-ups, vocal warm-ups, as well as everyone in the community sharing a poem and working on the poetry to open up the voice, open up the spirit and the heart as preparation for any kind of presentations you may have that are coming up as the school year begins, as the fall opens up. So it would be a joy to have you. If you're interested in joining, feel free to send an email to alexandra@vocalcenter.org, and I will send you the Zoom link. Vocal Center has also set up a Venmo account at Vocal Center NYC. If you have been enjoying the programming, the vocal meditations, or would like to support future programming, you're welcome to make a donation there. And I'm also very excited to announce that to celebrate that opening, all services, if you've ever wanted to take a voice lesson or a group lesson or host a public speaking workshop at your business, all of these services through the end of August are pay what you wish through Venmo or making a donation on the website. So this allows anyone, anywhere to try risk-free any kind of service. If you're wanting to work on opening your voice privately, if there are just some things you might want to work on in detail, one-on-one, please also send an email to alexandra@vocalcenter.org, and we will get you set up with trying one of these services because we want this to be open to anyone. So again, all services through the end of August are pay what you wish through Venmo or making a donation on the website. Finally, it is my pleasure to introduce that per every 4-month period, Vocal Center donates 5% of all proceeds of this work to a nonprofit that also helps other people lift voices in all parts of life. Our nonprofit for this period, August through the end of November, is Reading Partners. Reading Partners is a beautiful nonprofit organization that helps children all over the United States to learn how to read. And you can also volunteer by going to their website, readingpartners.org. Their mission is so beautiful. It just helps children. They partner you up. You're able to help support a child who just wants that extra support learning how to read. And I'm very excited to learn more about them myself and also volunteer. So if you'd like to learn more about Reading Partners, you can visit readingpartners.org. Okay, so today we will be reading Acquainted with the Night by Robert Frost. And this poem is a little different than some of the poems we've done here these mornings. It's a little darker and a little more shadowy. And as we enter our warm-up this morning, just allowing ourselves, it's Friday, allowing ourselves to feel and get acquainted with all the parts of ourselves, all the dark and the light that's living inside of us. As we become more acquainted with the shadow parts of ourselves, we become more integrated as a whole, and then we see others better and lift our voices better in the world because we don't fear the other, because often the parts of ourselves that we cannot accept or cannot or fear within ourselves, we often put onto others, and it limits us in our communication with other people. So as we enter into our meditation, vocal meditation this morning, just opening up all the parts of ourselves that live inside of us. So finding a nice, comfortable space to sit where you're feeling like you can let go and see yourself even better. Just finding that comfortable space and allowing your eyes to close and turn inward. It is an honor to do this for ourselves before the day begins, so that our bodies, our vocal instruments, and our minds and spirits are ready to meet the day. So, allowing yourself to take a deep breath in through your nose, and then we'll breathe out as long and far as we can on a sound, like a TS that comes together. Here we go, breathing in through our nose. Breathing in again through our nose and out on a sound so that we release all the air from our lungs. One final time, here we go. Taking a deep breath out on an ah sound. Here we go. Giving yourself that space to let it be whatever it sounds like. Just let all your feelings, the dark and the light feelings, come out on the ah. Here we go. As we speak today about the shadows accompanying the light inside of us, we also consider the shadow and light in our voices. This is called chiaroscuro in Italian, the light and the dark, that any beautiful painting and any beautiful piece of art and every human being has both light and dark inside of them. And the more we open up to these parts, the more we accept in ourselves, and the more we bring that beauty, the chiaro and scuro, into our voices and connect with others better. Allowing the crown of your head to release up into the sky, really feeling that release up, 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 and bring the shoulders back and release them down. So you're creating that openness in the heart area. This is also where the chest voice lives. You can feel it by gently putting your hand on your heart and saying to yourself, ah. You'll feel a little vibration there in your chest voice. This is such a beautiful place where the dark in the voice can grow. Try that one more time as we open up our heart and our chest. It's where all the low tones live. And as we feel the crown of our head release upward, feeling the jaw release, breathe in through that, breathe out through that released jaw. Feeling these areas in your head really begin to open up. This is where the head voice lives. This is where the lighter tones live. As we release the jaw and also the tongue, you can say to yourself, "Ooh," which is kind of a fun sound to make. This is where the lighter tones live and the light in your voice, and actually will give you beautiful projection throughout the day. Give yourself another. As we release the jaw, feeling also the tongue release, let's just breathe through that open trachea and open jaw and release tongue for a moment. Feeling that openness. Release the neck up and the lower back down. As we breathe through this open space, a released jaw and a released tongue. When I was in vocal school, they would have us pant like dogs in the mornings. So you can try that now if you're feeling brave. Put your hand on your solar plexus, which is this area right between your rib cage. Allowing your tongue to release. And then quicken your breath. This is going to look kind of weird, but it feels good. Here we go. You see dogs doing this, right? Well, they're very released. If you try this, you'll feel that whole breath system open up. You might even hear in my voice as it releases. Try it yourself. You'll start to feel all this open up and even a lot of oxygen coming into the mind. Okay, just a few moments of that panting. Yes, this is what singers do. If you pant like that, you'll feel this whole area in the solar plexus begin to free up. And actually, we hold a lot of tension here in our solar plexus throughout the day when things get stressful. So feel free to use this. It's a great way to open up and feel a little happier if your day is not going, quite like you like it. Okay, maybe go into a private space, but another great way to feel a little better throughout the day and open up the voice is to focus on the cheeks. Give yourself a little smile here and say to yourself, This is such a beautiful way to get the voice resonating in just the right way. Like, say to yourself, it helps if you think of something totally delicious, like beautiful flower, a rose, a chocolate brownie or cupcake that you would just love to have for after lunch, maybe. Here we go. If you try that, you'll feel all these, they're called the zygomatics, the cheek area, begin to resonate with sound and really give your voice that brightness. Okay, as we begin to release our body, we've released our voices. Let's just take a few moments to breathe in, closing your eyes and feeling your feet on the floor. Feeling your body releasing into the chair you're sitting in, or if you're standing, letting yourself release a little more into your knees, giving them a little bend. Let's take a few minutes to visualize ourselves, our body as a mountain. Feeling your body and the strength and the peace that a mountain brings. Feeling yourself release down into the floor, while also the top and crown of your head releasing up as a beautiful mountain. Continuing to breathe. Imagining your mind here as a calm lake on a beautiful, peaceful morning. As the sun rises, the water is still. Coming out of a gentle night. Imagining your mind, the lake of it, expanding. So as you hear every sound, or no sound at all, as you breathe into this quiet space, saying, rising as you inhale, and falling as you exhale. Imagining your heart as a full moon risen in the night sky. Full of generosity, shining light into the darkness, and giving honor to both the light and the dark. your body as a mountain, your mind as a wide lake, and your heart as a full moon resin in the night sky. We will be reading Robert Frost's poem, Acquainted with the Night. As we go through this poem, visualizing the images and giving honor to the shadow that lives inside us, as well as the light. This is Acquainted with the Night by Robert Frost. I have been one acquainted with the night. I have walked out in rain and back in rain. I have outwalked the farthest city light. I have looked down the saddest city lane. I have passed by the watchman on his beat and dropped my eyes, unwilling to explain. I have stood still and stopped the sound of feet. When far away, an interrupted cry came over houses from another street, but not to call me back or say goodbye. And further still, at an unearthly height, one luminary clock against the sky proclaimed the time was neither wrong nor right. I have been one acquainted with the night. This poem speaks to an uncertain path, the night inside of us, and not knowing whether the time is wrong nor right, exploring that dark place and being curious of what might grow from it. As I read this one more time, see in your mind the exact night that you imagine, a night that you've seen, the rain that you've seen, what lane belongs to you, who you may have passed and not been able to explain or connect to. and the preciousness of standing still and listening. This is Robert Frost's Acquainted with the Night. I have been one acquainted with the night. I have walked out in rain and back in rain. I have outwalked the furthest city light. I have looked down the saddest city lane. I have passed by the watchman on his beat and dropped my eyes, unwilling to explain. I have stood still and stopped the sound of feet. When far away, an interrupted cry came over houses from another street. But not to call me back or say goodbye. And further still, at an unearthly height, one luminary clock against the sky proclaimed the time was neither wrong nor right. I have been one acquainted with the night. As we enter the weekend, a few days of relaxation, let's give honor to both the light and the dark, the day and the night that live inside of us. Opening our voices, our bodies, our minds and spirits to the luminary, to the shadow, so that we're better present for everything that nature offers us. That we're in communion with nature. Our daily affirmation. I am acquainted with my shadow. Let's say together. I am acquainted with my shadow. One more time. I am acquainted with my shadow. I hope you have a beautiful day ahead. May you be happy. May you be peaceful. May you be healthy. May you be free. And I'll see you again Monday at 6:30 a.m. Have a wonderful week.